Hi, this is Carol, the Executive Director of the IMCCA. The IMCCA has been the nonprofit organization supporting the collaborative conferencing industry for over 20 years. During the current pandemic, we are committed to providing support and guidance for the UC&C industry and the many thousands of people who now find themselves working remotely for the very first time. We believe it's essential to provide that support in any way that we can. Please allow me to introduce an IMCCA member, AVI-SPL, and our Director of Emerging Technology, David Danto.
Thank you very much, Carol. I appreciate it. Danny, thanks very much for joining us today. We're good friends. We don't need to hide that here. Can you introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do and what your company does?
Yeah, very good afternoon to you, David. Daniel Rogers from AVI-SPL. I'm responsible for our global channels business, working, by the title suggests, globally with all the global partners we look after.
Terrific. Thanks very much. So, we're all living through this pandemic. We're not sure how long we're going to be in it or what we're doing. Is AVI-SPL doing anything special or different for its customers or for the general public to try and provide support during this crisis?
Yeah, as a digital workplace services provider, clearly the what we provide from global help desk, global support maintains and continues. Obviously adhering to global government and World Health Organization advice about distancing, so making sure that our remote support that we're able to offer to keep systems up and running, companies up and running, hospitals up and running is happening unabated. Making sure that we have staff available through the processes around the world at any given time, so nothing is left to chance. In addition to that, where we've still got mission critical applications and deployment to uphold and deliver, we're making sure we're now working round the clock, in fact 24 hours, where we're actually going at night time, we're doing night work to ensure that we have social distancing. We're able to deliver those mission critical applications where required, and even doing weekends outside, so we're not in conflict with the day-to-day working environment. So much of what we're providing, whether it be services, physical environment, is all against the very, very strict guidelines presented by the World Health Organization and by governments as well.
Yeah, that's great, Dan. And we were chatting just before we started the recording today. It's interesting. While a lot of people find themselves kind of working from home and don't understand the feel for it, and they may be feeling a bit of a lighter workload, guys like you and I that have been doing this for years and years, we're busier than we ever have been. Whether it's just providing friendly advice to friends and family, or working with our clients, or whatever, it's literally been nonstop. Much less sleep, much less downtime. It's just been amazing, hasn't it?
It has been amazing. As you rightly allude to, I thought that maybe we would see a drop off. Quite the opposite. I think the ability to provide additional services and guidance to people and companies that never normally have so many people working remotely, distance working, ensuring they're feeling more connected. They have the application on the tools, making sure they're using all of those is absolutely key. And that's kind of what we've been working on and will continue to work on as well.
Okay, terrific. We just saw each other actually in February, which was really odd. I think we saw each other twice, didn't we? You were in New York for a brief period of time, and then we both met in Amsterdam at ISE. But for the most part, this is how we've communicated for years. I sit at my desk, I look at all my displays as you do, and we're on video all the time. So we now have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people around the world that are doing this for the very first time. Do you have any advice that you would give for them personally or professionally, or how to use the tools to kind of let people understand how to get the best out of this environment?
Yeah, my first advice is when you're having a video call with somebody, make sure your other screen is on Do Not Disturb, and then you won't be connected as you go through. But in all seriousness, I think there are some key attributes really and key disciplines. First and foremost, treat every single day as you would it's a standard working day. How would you dress? What time would you get up? How would you start your day? How would you plan your day? There is no difference because you're not physically working in a normal building. The other thing I would suggest, and it's a discipline I have with my team, and I run a global team, is that I have a physical open door policy. Now, I'm not physically in the office, so when my green light on my instant messaging is available to people, that means that you can contact me on instant message and you can connect with me straight away. And that might be to maintain a water cooler type environment. That may be for a spontaneous, hey, listen, I need your answer on this. What do you think of this? But immediately I get an IM, I knock it straight up to video. Let's jump on video and have this conversation. As you would if you're walking down the corridor in your building to another co-worker's office. You say, you knock on their door and say, hey, what do you think of this? So maintaining that as a communication tool that you feel connected to your business, you feel connected to your customers, and you feel connected to your co-workers. I'd also say that making sure that you're starting everything on time in terms of not just your day, but your meetings, and you have that discipline, I think is essential. But I would say there's another area in these very, very challenging and difficult times, and that is to also take a tiny bit of time for yourself, and also understanding the discipline that other members of the family might also be in the house. We forget that because we work on video all the time, that you stand away or you sit away in your dedicated office, you have a sterile, soundproofed environment. A lot of people are not going to have quite that privilege. So I think a little bit of tolerance at this time against that discipline is also important. So, they're the things I would say. But it's also important, and I think it's also important, to make sure members of your team are feeling that connected way.
No, I agree. That's really terrific advice. Good advice. And don't worry about being interrupted by a call. What we were chatting the other day, that the things about not being as polished, whether you're getting a visit from our cats or our dogs or a phone going off, that's humanizing this experience. It's not these formal, expensive video conferences in immersive rooms that we used to have, where anything out of place would be a disaster. We're people connecting with people, and that'll also get you through that. So that's all really good advice. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, reach out to AVI-SPL. How do they do that? How do they get you?
Yeah, please do. Yeah, Danny.Rogers, that's D-A-M-M-Y, Rogers, R-O-G-E-R-S, at AVI-SPL.com.
Terrific, Danny. Thanks very much. Be safe, be well. Hope the best to you and yours.
And thank you, David, and to you as well. Thank you so much.